Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Art and Craft. First of all, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. If you like my video, then share it more and more. In this video I will tell you about how to make copper sulfate. So guys, press the bell icon button for more updates. Let's start the video. It is easy to make copper sulfate using readily available materials. Copper sulfate is also known as copper sulfate, blue vitriol or blue stone. Usually it is vibrant blue salt encountered as copper sulfate pentahydrate. The chemical has several uses, but most people use it for growing blue copper sulfate crystals. Here is how you make copper sulfate yourself using a battery, copper wire and dilute sulfuric acid. The easiest and safest methods of making copper sulfate use electrochemistry, copper wire, sulfuric acid and water, 6-volt battery. Concentrated sulfuric acid is 98% sulfuric acid and 2% water, with a concentration of 18.4 m. This is too strong for this project, so you need to dilute it. If you have dilute sulfuric acid, so go ahead and use that. If you are making copper sulfate at home, you are probably using battery acids, which average around 37% acid in water or about 4 m. You don't need to dilute it much in this project. While the instructions call for a 6-volt battery or 9-volt battery or a constant power supply work fine. Then pour 30 ml of water and then 5 ml concentrated sulfuric acid into a small glass jar or beaker. Always add acid to water, not the other way around. This minimizes the chance of the acid splashing. For battery acid, or use less water. The concentration of acid is not critical, so either 30 millimeters of acid is in 40 millimeters of water, or mixing half battery acids and half water is fine. Inspect your wires. If they are insulated, strip enough insulation that you have bare copper end to put in a liquid. Attach a copper wire to each battery terminals and immerse the exposed end in the solution to that of wires or not touching each others. The liquid turns blue as copper sulfate is produced. The reaction between sulfuric acid and copper yields a dilute copper sulfate solution. If left undisturbed, copper sulfate crystal from water evaporates. However, the solutions will contain some sulfuric acid, so use where when removing the crystals, which are your solid products. Alternatively, concentrate the solution by boiling it. After evaporating the liquid, blue copper sulfate powder remains. Any remaining liquid has just boiled away in this concentrated sulfuric acid. Pour this liquid off and save it for future science experiment. Once you have copper sulfate, dissolve it in water and grow copper sulfate crystals. When you run electricity through the copper electrodes, expect bubbling from the anodes, negative electrodes. In this liquid, these bubbles contains hydrogen gas. Meanwhile, the copper at the cathode's positive electrode dissolve. Some of the dissolved copper ions make their way to the anodes and reduce, which is this. When this happens, it reduces the copper sulfate yields, but a little care with setup reduce the loss. If you have enough wire, coil the copper for cathodes and place it on the bottom of the jar beaker. Either leave the wire insulation in place above the coil or else slide a section of plastic tubing over exposed wire just above the coil. This minimizes the reaction between the cathode and anode. This place the anode higher in the liquid and distant from the coil. Ideally, hydrogen bubbles only from the anode. If both electrodes bubbles, move the copper's wire further apart. With this setup, copper sulfate form at the bottom of the container near the cathodes. And making copper sulfate using sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And so guys, stay blessed and connected with us. Allah Hafiz, and thank you for watching my videos.